for it. Put a lot of people out of work, but, you know, I mean, he said business is business, you know, and that's why he did it.
And you wrestled for him, too, right?
And I was part of that. I mean, I was excited about it, you know, but I'm old school. I didn't mind just staying in Baltimore, Philly, and Boston and that area. I mean,
if you're making 20 grand a match, you know.
I mean, what the heck, you know, but now I'm getting on an airplane every morning, and I'm flying to LA, and then I'm going to Seattle, then I'm going zigzagging all over the place, going to Europe, going to Japan, going to Australia. I mean, he just didn't take over the United States, he took over the world. So it really was the World Wrestling Federation.
Did you notice a pay increase then when you guys started wrestling, you know, worldwide?
Oh, exactly, yes. Pay increase, but I also noticed that I had a few divorces because I was never home.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like, I remember my second divorce, I told Vince McMahon, I says, well, why don't you just, I want to wrestle 3 months straight, I don't want a day off. And he did it.
3 months straight, no days off, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Oh. How do you do that physically? A lot of cortisone shots?
Actually, it's Johnny Valentine, the greatest wrestler of all time, my dad. It's inherited. And we're a different breed. And I have a passion, I love wrestling, and I've got a lot of meanness in me that I need to get out, and I let it out in the ring. And sometimes, you know, you want to say wrestling's fake. Well, you didn't see all my matches, because, I mean, I laid them in, and sometimes there were some real fights out there, and I enjoy it.
Now, we all know that there is a storyline.
Sure.
But it's not fake because, you know, there's body slams and you
yeah,
see
you're dealing with gravity and everything.
Yeah,
sure.
It still hurts. Did you see a lot of times that wrestlers wouldn't follow the storylines? Does that happen a lot in professional wrestling?
Yeah, well, I was one of them. You know, they come up and say, we want this guy to beat you. I says, who's that? I'm not doing anything. I'm not laying down.
And they say, yeah, you have to, and then you go out there and...
There's no way I have to. I mean, I'm going to be in the ring, and if you want to beat me, you beat me for real then. Let's do it. Let's go on. You know, you really control your own destiny and your own career, and especially when you build your name up to where I build it up, and you basically, if you're going to let people direct you and say, well, you're going to fall down tonight, you know, I mean, you don't have to do it. They ask you, and it's a privilege if you want to do that. Now, if you're, you know, it's a money-making business, and if you want to do that, well, okay, if I lose tonight, I'm going to come back and beat the hell out of the guy in 2 weeks. Is that the deal? Okay. And it's a trust factor.
Okay, so you trust that.
So it's a business.
It's
a business.
Now, wrestling nowadays has kind of changed because Vince Jr. has actually taken over more of the wrestling business than he had before, because we did have WCW wrestling, who you wrestled for, didn't you, in the 90s?
Yeah, I didn't really wrestle a whole lot with WCW because that was ran by wrestlers. And you got a bunch of wrestlers running the company. They want to put themselves over, and they don't control the company the way it should be, because their egos get in the way.
Yeah, not really run like a business.
And at least Vince McMahon, he got in the ring a few times, but most of the time, he knew there was just one boss. Down there in Atlanta where WCW was, they had like 5 bosses, so it's like too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Yeah. Now, do you still keep in touch with a lot of your old wrestling buddies?
I sure do.
I noticed that you're still in touch with Hulk, right?
I work out with Hulk. We live down in Florida together, Tampa. I stay in touch with Roddy Piper. I stay in touch with Tito Santana. I stay in touch with Brutus Beefcake, and the other fella, Honky Tonk Man. Those are my main guys that we converse loyally, probably every day on the phone.
Actually.